Welcome back to our show. Matt Royal joins us once again. It is good to see you with Royal Commercial Corp with senior level experience in developing and executing real estate strategies nationally and internationally, and really of the commercial variety. Mr. Royal, how you doing, buddy?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm excellent.
Thanks for having me on today.
My pleasure. So let's, we were just talking at break about how a lot of people maybe drive around to their city or their town or whatnot, and it seems like there is space available at just about every building.
Yes. Yeah, there is. You know, and when we're looking at the inventories, which kind of segues into your previous segments there, it's a little different animal than what we have on the residential side. Residential buyers can kind of take their own pace and time and gauge the market, gauge their finances, whatnot. On the commercial side, tenants and landlords, for that most part, have what they call, a lease stacking, or the way the leases are run in the building. They have to renew, and the tenant has to make the decision, which is, do I stay or do I go? Mm-hmm. That's what the old song was even.
Sure.
Do I stay or do I go? And so that's when, the tenant, depending on the size, the square footage, the use, the need, if it's geographic centric, which, they need to be in CBD Bellevue, downtown Bellevue, or they need to be in downtown Seattle.
CBD?
The Central Business District.
Thank you.
Sorry. Then what they
getting all industry talk on me, Matt.
If they're single syllables, we can handle it here. So what happens is, they take that into effect, and depending on the square footage and the size of the footprint that the tenant needs and requires and their specific needs, you start anywhere from, 90 days, which is not advisable, to a year and a half to 2 years. So if you're looking at a larger organization structure like Amazon, Microsoft, they have 3 to 5 year plans, forward as how they're going to do their renewals, how they're going to leverage the market, leverage the space in there, do some forecasting, how they're going to move and manage their people within, so on and so forth. So, but most of the businesses that are out here are smaller, 15 to 30, maybe 100 people. Those still require a year out. So you get to, as the owner of that company, forecast, prognosticate, guess,
estimate
what the market's going to be, what condition that landlord is going to be in, how you're going to move, when you're going to move, the cost of that. Is it cheaper to move or bite down and take a slight increase and renew where you're at there? So
now you talk about moving, and there of course are a lot of companies that are moving to Seattle. Is there more competition for some of this space than you may think? Or I just heard eBay is now bringing a couple hundred people up. It seems to be that people are kind of coming to Seattle more and more and more.
They are, and I don't know if they're coming here because we have this salubrious climate, or if they're just evacuating from a state that is not business friendly, which that would be California, not to disparage California, but our tax structure, and it's a lot more business friendly here, especially for technology firms.
Mm-hmm.
Our congressional body there does give tax credits and does enable technology and R&D firms to get some discounts to bring these tech jobs, higher paying jobs here to the Northwest. But as far as specifics, and those are, although they're impactful in the market analysis when you're talking about net absorption or how much property is coming on or off the market monthly, or just the general available square feet, those big companies that come in, they kind of skew the measure for the littler, smaller firms where, there might be like Aptio. I think it's Aptio took on 62 or 65,000 square feet last quarter. Well, there was only 180,000 square feet of absorption, meaning more came off the market. 185,000 square feet came off the market last month, but that one firm took 62, and between two other deals, it was almost, what was that? About 130,000 square feet in just 2 or 3 deals. So those kind of do skew the numbers, and so those skew the numbers a little bit for the rest of the smaller businesses who are trying to just do their regular routine business.
So talk about some of these bigger spaces. So you have some of these, pretty big spaces that you see. I mean, up to 35,000 feet. You just talked about 62,000 feet. This is not mom and pop shop when you're getting into this size of a building.
No, and that's part of the rub or the conundrum. When they built these larger buildings down there in Seattle, sometimes they design them for multi-tenant suites or single-tenant floor plates. And when a single-tenant firm moves off a floor plate like that, it's very hard and very costly for the landlord to divide it up, chop it up, and try to make separate suites out of it. And the TI cost and the administration management, everything is just very expensive. And then most tenants don't want to get off an elevator and walk the rat maze back 3 turns and a left hand and a right hand and then go to their little corner office. It's not.
Yeah, it loses the appeal.
Yeah, there's no elevator appeal for it. Yeah.
Right. So what do some of these? I mean, what are people supposed to do? I mean, how do people navigate this market as I suppose if you own a building and then also as if you're trying to rent one?
Yeah, there's that 2 sides of the coin there. You know, if rents are going up, that means the economy is doing better and it's supply and demand. There's more demand than supply, and that's great for landlords. And the inverse of that is it's great for tenants. We're right there at this swing, even though there was negative GDP growth last quarter. On the east side market, it went from a 8.5% vacancy to a 7.5% vacancy. So a lot of that space is coming off the market, and when there's less vacancy, the prices go up. I represent a park here on the east side, Class B business park, and at the end of most likely at the end of this month, we'll be at 100% occupancy on 108,000 square feet. And that's made up of 30 to 35 smaller tenants. But the churn and the activity there has been outstanding. And the same, closer to the city, closer to the metro areas, you're going to do better. When you get out into suburban Bellevue, it's still pretty soft. Up north, Snohomish County, Everett, that's still real soft. There's real good deals to be made out there. I mean, if you're a company looking for a large footprint, you need flex space, Class A, B, or even C office space. Moving north is going to result in a significant cost savings for you and your business if your business is flexible enough to do that.
Matt, we're with Matt Royal, President and Managing Broker with the Royal Commercial Corp. We just have about a minute or about 2 minutes left. But so when you talk about the Class A, Class B, Class C, and these different business districts that somebody may be comfortable going to, there's more than just really the cost, isn't there? I mean, a lot of people want their employees to work downtown because there's a draw to that. Is there a cost benefit that's done based on the location of where somebody's going to work more than just commute?
Yeah, that is
culture.
It's cost, culture, environment. Your employee base, if you have specific employees or employees with a specific trade, use, skill set, you've spent, tens of thousands of dollars training them, they know how it works. You really, as a business owner, need to somewhat accommodate them in where you're going. And I've seen, there's all types of business leaders where this is how we're going to do it, or let's do a collective type of discussion and see what's best for the company as a whole. That's, a broker can help facilitate that and do some due diligence to say, hey, what's your average drive time for your employees? What's the zip codes they're living in? Help with that. But it's really, it is a business decision, and it's up to the owners to make that. But survivability of the company also depends on your expenditures, sometimes not on the convenience of your employees.
I always wonder that because I think, well, geez, you have some of these companies like, say, Zillow, which literally is like the most beautiful office I've ever been in my life. It is gorgeous. And I think, you wonder if the employees would take a 5% pay raise to go work on the bottom floor or to go work in the doldrums and, in another place. And I don't know if that's ever weighed in or because that has got to, it's so expensive.
Oh, it's incredibly expensive. It is. By the time you're all done, some of those people are paying. If you count a ceiling tile, which is 2 by 2, that's 4 square feet. That's $200 a year. In some of these places, they're paying $48
to just stand there.
Just stand there, $200 a year to have the building, carpet it, and be there. That is a lot. that's a lot of money.
Especially when your lobby's 150 tiles.
And it's not generating any revenue for you.
Yeah.
And I'm more pragmatic. I just kind of look, hey, if you're not using it, it doesn't have a revenue generating purpose, you may not need it.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Well, Matt, we do have to go to break. Thanks so much for joining us. Stick around for a few minutes. We'd love to get some more of your opinions. David Bell will be back with us in just a minute. You're listening to Brashenomics.